Why do people hide behind games? Because inside the code, the servers, the fantasy lore, and pixelated achievements lies something rare. A universe where rules make sense, where effort is rewarded, and where, if only for a moment, you matter. In a world that demands constant performance but offers few rewards, the virtual has become a new sanctuary for millions. In the same way that the church once offered relief from a brutal feudal reality, today, as massive multiplayer online games, MMOs, and immersive digital experiences provide a temporary escape from a world many feel they've already lost in. Let's go deeper. The tyranny of the real world. Modern society preaches meritocracy, but often rewards luck, nepotism, wealth, and charisma. The reality for most is that no matter how hard they work, how much they try to play by the rules, the finish line keeps moving. Imagine being a 16-year-old with no connections, no money, no social capital. In real life, you're powerless, invisible. But in a game, you can become a godslayer, a guild leader, a legend. It's not just escapism, it's a reclaiming of dignity. In real life, if you lose, you're often blamed. In games at least, the loss feels earned, and more importantly, you can try again. This isn't childish fantasy, this is existential compensation. The game becomes an alternate metaphysical plane where one can find justice that real life does not provide. 2. Games as simulated meritocracies. Arthur Schopenhauer believed life was governed by a blind, irrational will, a force that drives us to chase desires that will never fulfill us. Video games, then, act as artificial constructs where this chaotic will is tamed, guided, and ultimately satisfied. In MMOs, there are clear rules. You slay a monster, you gain experience. You grind for hours, you get the loot. Cause and effect, action and reward. It's predictable, it makes sense. It is no surprise that many of the people who feel most alienated by modern society, those who feel invisible, who are constantly passed over, flock to these digital spaces. Here, your worth isn't measured by your last name, your bank account, or your social clout. It's measured by your actions. Even Nietzsche out s, will to power, finds fertile ground here. The player doesn't just exist, they dominate, build, lead, and grow. They become more than they are, not by chance, but by choice. 3. Hyperreality, status, and the corruption of the digital sanctuary. But there's a problem. When games allow money to buy power, when cosmetics, boosts, and gear can be purchased rather than earned, the illusion collapses. Jean Baudrillard's concept of hyperreality comes into play. A simulation that replaces the real with an empty copy. You're no longer rewarded for effort, you're rewarded for your wallet. Suddenly, the game mirrors real life, where the rich flaunt their cars, homes, watches, and influence, while the rest struggle for scraps of attention. The digital sanctuary becomes another capitalist arena. Cosmetic microtransactions may seem harmless, but in a world where status is everything, visuals matter. The prestige of having an ultra-rare mount or armor set is destroyed when someone can buy it without ever facing a challenge. The hero becomes indistinguishable from the poser, and the result? The dream dies. Players disengage. They realize that even here, they are poor. IV. Time versus money, the hidden currency of identity. In theory, MMOs reward time spent, but time is a privilege. A 16-year-old can grind for 10 hours a day. A 36-year-old single parent cannot. In turn, the older player may have money to spend, but lacks time. Both are trapped by their circumstances. And yet, time in games becomes a kind of currency of identity. Players value themselves and others based on how much they've achieved in-game. Their digital self becomes a more fulfilling version of who they are outside the screen. It's not just about escaping life, it's about creating a better one, even if temporarily. This is why when paid advantages are introduced, they corrupt more than gameplay, they corrupt identity. If someone can buy in seconds what took you weeks to earn, your entire digital self is devalued. The MMO as a digital agora. The MMO is more than a game. It is a society, a digital agora, a simulated world with its own social classes, hierarchies, economies, and cultural rituals. When working correctly, it functions as a true meritocracy, a democracy of effort. But when monetization invades this world, it destroys the fabric of its society. Think of it like an ecosystem. You need more than whales, big spenders. You need the grinders, the casuals, the dreamers. Just as a forest needs not just towering trees but underbrush, insects and birds, a game needs people who care, even if they never pay a cent. If all that remains are whales, the ecosystem collapses. The ocean without fish is just water. The MMO without its base is just a storefront. Six, a new religion of meaning. In a secular, postmodern world where traditional institutions, religion, family, nation, have lost much of their influence, games have emerged as one of the last sources of meaning. They provide community, purpose, status, and a sense of narrative direction. You're not just surviving. You're leveling up. You're on a quest. You have goals. You are seen. For many, this is not a hobby. It's a spiritual practice, a way of making sense of a life that otherwise feels random and indifferent. And this is precisely why they must remain fair. If even this constructed world becomes pay to win, where can people go to feel worthy? Conclusion: more than just games. To hide behind a game is not to surrender. It is to seek refuge, to construct identity, to reclaim dignity in a world that has stripped it away. But once this digital sanctuary is poisoned by the same forces that corrupted the real one, status bought, effort ignored, and worth measured in dollars, the player is left with nothing. When the last safe haven begins to mirror the world we fled from, what remains?